Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about some specific spirits because I talk a lot about spirits. Really, it's just another way to conceptualize ideologies, but it also goes beyond that. So, I'm just going to list off and describe specific spirits, and hopefully, after this, we'll have a better understanding of what a spirit is. For instance, there is the spirit of Yahweh, who is his current status is endangered and is a religious monotheist type spirit. It has the personality of a 2000 BC goat herder, feeds off child indoctrination, and may be the demiurge or the true devil. This is Gnosticism for more information on that. Another spirit is the leftist spirit, whose current status is overpopulated and is a political type spirit. People that are possessed by it will say things like white people, or end the patriarchy. And this spirit has a victim complex, is racist, favoring the dark, and sexist, favoring women, is self-righteous, values science insofar as it discredits conservatism, is allied with the Marxist spirit, and has a bunch of weird pronoun stuff going on that I'm not going to get into, but you know what I'm talking about. And then we also have the anti-spirit of the leftist spirit, which is the spirit of conservatism. This spirit says things like, make America great again, facts don't care about your feelings, or snowflake. And being the anti-spirit of the leftist, it has equal and opposite racist and sexism. Equal and opposite everything, really. And it is also allied with the church. Moving on, we also have the spirit of the everyman, whose status is critically populated and is an archetype, which really just means that when you are born, you are pre-loaded knowing that this spirit exists. Every human has experienced this, and it is such an effective spirit that it's in your genes to know of its existence. This spirit says things like, I love Marvel. They watch vloggers and gamers and create nothing, are addicted to the internet, weed, and social interaction. They lack opinions, are always on their phone, watch mainstream media, and are just an overall background character. Let's see. Another pair of spirits that are antithetical to each other are the scientist spirit and the spirit of Jesus. So, first to describe the spirit of scientism, its status is rising, and its true name is Antichrist. He says things such as, God is dead. It is behind the Protestant and French revolutions, is nihilistic, atheistic, a doomer, Machiavellian, but has unbelievably strong reason and probably knows more of the literal reality than any other spirit. And then on the other hand, we have the spirit of Jesus, who is a theist and encountered God, not Yahweh, died for our sins, values the collective, a slave moralis, and is responsible for the church. Moving on, the spirit of the church. Status is currently threatened. And by the way, really all religious spirits are currently threatened due to the rising spirit of scientism, the Antichrist, if you will. And the church is one part political and one part religious. The spirit of the church is responsible for the Crusades, has raped children, is allied with the conservatives, dogmatic as holy hell, lacking reason, also allied with Yahweh, who may or may not be the true devil. And another thing to note here is how the thing about spirits is you can look at them at different levels of abstraction. So for instance, your local church has a spirit. It is the spirit of that church. However, there is also the spirit of church as such, which is the spirit of the sum of all churches. Just like how you are the spirit of you, however, you are made up of constituents, your cells. Each one of them has a spirit. There's also the spirit of weed, or the spirit of the pothead. And this goes for every single drug, every single substance. There is a spirit of aspirin, there is a spirit of cocaine, there is a spirit of psychedelics that is made up of constituent spirits such as LSD, psilocybin, and DMT. But to speak more in regards to the spirit of the pothead, glorifies masturbation, high in openness, blatant addict. This spirit can easily become a quarter of the possessed person's personality and will usually have a list of drugs that they want to do longer than any real goals or achievements. We also have the spirit of Allah, whose status is threatened and is a religious monotheist type. Shares a common ancestor with the modern Yahweh and is very much like Yahweh, only with some nuances. It also demands more worship. Emphasizes things like charity, is allied with the leftist spirit. While it is so moderate in the West, it is just so radical in the Middle East, going as far as to breed organizations like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Now, of course, the Allah of these terrorist organizations is separate from the Allah of the West because of some minor speciation, but because these different spirits are referred to using the same name, I see all of these as the doings of one spirit. There's also, this is a collection of spirits that I'm about to describe, but it is the celebrity pantheon. Or not necessarily celebrity, it is also like Disney characters and such. The spirits of polytheistic pantheons have been reborn in the internet, social media, and Hollywood. So actors are the new Zeus, artists are the new Apollo, porn stars are the new Aphrodite, athletes are the new Ares, the rich are the new Hephaestus, 4chan is the new Loki, Nazis are the new Satan, rappers are the new Dionysus, and depression is the new Thanatos, so on, so forth. And never before have we had such widespread idol worship. Keyword idol. That is literally what we call these figures. They become stronger with more attention. It's interesting that we call the people that ritualistically worship these idols through watch time and viewing them as followers, which is the same way that we describe religious people. And it is mainly the everyman that worships this pantheon. There's also the spirit of masculinity. Similar to the everyman is an archetypal spirit. You are born knowing that this spirit exists. This spirit, essentially you can think of religious and political deities as lesser, they're minor, all things considered, compared to things such as masculinity and femininity that are just so fundamental to everybody's psyche that every single person doesn't have a choice whether or not they're going to be possessed by this spirit and embody its will. So the masculine spirit is characterized by things like consciousness, thought, aggression, competition, power, assertiveness, and taking, so on and so forth, and has an anti-spirit in femininity, which is characterized by things like unconsciousness, feeling, governing, passivity, openness, receptiveness, giving. And another thing to note is that both of these spirits are expressed in both men and women. If you are a man, you're something like 2 parts masculine, 1 part feminine. And if you're a woman, vice versa. And, some men actually embody more of the feminine spirit than your typical woman. But yeah, those are just some examples of what I mean when I talk about a spirit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.